buenos días, saluditos y bendiciones para todos ustedes. Bienvenidos a T.Lonoticiaseinformacion. El día de hoy tenemos un invitado especial que es uno de los oficiales del Departamento de Policía de Ashland, quien es Chip Watts. Welcome today, Chip. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. We thank you for the opportunity to come and talk with you all today.
Oh, no, I'm really happy because I know that this is something that the community is expecting. A lot of the people, doesn't know how to act when the police comes, or they don't know when to call. I know that a lot of the community sometimes, don't feel safe, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that, later on. But right now, just say hello to the community and let us know something about you. How do you end up being a police officer in Ashland?
Well, I ended up coming to Richmond in the Richmond area because I went to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. And while I was there, I'd originally gone as a pre-law student. So I was intending on going to law school. And I ended up working a summer job that kind of took me into law enforcement. And I changed gears and then I said, I'll take a year off between going to college and law school.
Oh.
And then I did that for the last 30 years because I didn't go back to law school. So I've taken that year off for about 30 times. And then I've been in law enforcement ever since. So
Chip dice que fue a estudiar a la universidad de aquí del VCU. Dice que él estaba estudiando y dijo, me voy a tomar un tiempo. Su idea era estudiar leyes y terminó siendo un policía de Ashland y que de ahí le gustó y ahí ha estado todo este tiempo. Así que realmente yo creo que somos bendecidos en el área de Ashland. Chip es una de las personas que siempre está abierta con nuestra comunidad latina. Así que I'm saying that you always open to the Latino community, the Spanish community. I'm really, I feel blessed to be there and to have you there because you always, looking out for us. So
absolutely. Well, we appreciate you as well as being a connection to that community because it's very valuable to us to be able to reach out to people who may not necessarily know how to reach out to the police or maybe because of past interactions or meeting in law enforcement. May not feel comfortable in reaching out to law enforcement, but the Ashland Police Department is just the police department for the town of Ashland. That's just what we do. We try to keep the peace and protect the property and the citizens of Ashland.
And that was some of, that's how I ended doing this because when I moved there, I find out that in Ashland, it wasn't a lot of paperwork or people who can help us in our language. So when I see that, I was like, you know what? I started on the schools helping, translate, but I was like, okay, I think it's more than just the schools, police department, the town. So that's how I'm ending, knowing you, all of you. And I'm really happy that all of you guys were open to work with me and trying to, let the community know that you're there to help them.
Absolutely. Our goal is to have a safe, secure community. I live in Ashland. I have 5 sons. All of my sons have gone to school in Ashland. We live, a block from the police department. So I'm a member of the community, and we want to make sure that everybody that lives in Ashland lives in a safe and secure place.
So platicaba con Chip que una de las razones por las que terminé haciendo lo que hago el día de hoy, que es informando a la comunidad y trayéndoles información de todo lo que hay en el condado y en el área, es porque me di cuenta al llegar en Ashland que no había personas que nos hablaran español en las escuelas, dentro de la policía, en el condado, y eso fue lo que me inspiró a hacerlo. Realmente ellos estaban abiertos a informar a la comunidad, a traer todo lo necesario para estar en comunicación con todos nosotros. Chip nos dice que él vive en nuestro pueblito de Ashland. Tiene, you say 5 kids?
5 sons.
Él tiene 5 hijos y todos ellos van a las escuelas de nuestro condado. Así que para él es importante que nuestra comunidad se sienta segura al estar en una área donde puedan hablar y sentirse bien de ellos, poder estar en contacto con la policía. Chip, you say that the community can feel safe to call you guys. I know that for the community, it's really hard to open up and say, okay, let me call the police. something that I know you bring some information that is really important for the community today, but how can the Latino community can feel that it's safe calling you guys?
If you are a victim of a crime or you have a complaint and you call, an officer is going to respond, and we are going to answer that call or complaint just like we would for any other citizen of the town of Ashland. It's irrelevant of anybody's background or wherever they've came from. You live in the town of Ashland and you receive the services of a resident of Ashland. So if language is an issue, we have ways to either do that by phone or now with smartphones, we can do that with Translate. So our officers will do the best they can. If we have somebody that maybe English is a challenge for them, then we'll use a language line to communicate back and forth over the phone, or we'll use a translation app. But if you live in town, we certainly want to provide the service that every town resident should expect.
So Chip, como oficial del departamento de Ashland, quiere que ustedes sepan que ustedes pueden sentirse seguros de hablar a las líneas directas cuando hayan pasado por algún crimen, cuando les haya pasado algún incidente en el que ustedes crean necesario hablar a la policía. No tengan miedo. Ellos dicen, sin importar de dónde tú vengas, cuál sea tu idioma, cuál sea tu estatus legal, tú puedes hablar a la policía de Ashland y ellos están ahí para ayudarte a ti y para proveer toda la ayuda necesaria que tú necesites en ese momento, sin importar si tú no hablas inglés. Ellos dicen, el día de hoy ya tenemos los celulares que podemos utilizar para traducir, tienen ciertas aplicaciones, o hay una línea en la que tú puedes hablar también que ellos pueden traducirte, así que no tengan miedo. El día de hoy vamos a hablar un poquito acerca de los fraudes y quiero que ustedes estén abiertos a hablar cuando algo así les pasa. So I'm letting them know that today we're going to talk a little bit about the scams that has been happening. And a lot of the Latino community, sometimes they don't know what to do. And sometimes they don't even know that they went through that. So how can, what can you tell them to kind of, let them know, speak up?
Absolutely. Our biggest concern is that people will, especially over phone calls or emails, this is how typically scams happen these days. And, a lot of times we don't see like property crimes anymore, or people stealing money or going to the effort to break into houses and stuff. These people that do that now they just call people on the phone, or they send them a text, or they send them an email. And there's so many different types of scams. One in particular that I could see for people that are new to the United States being a victim of is the typical, you get a phone call or a text saying that somebody with the government says they have a warrant, which is a piece of paper saying to arrest somebody. And they'll call a person and they'll tell them, hey, I have this warrant for you because you missed jury duty, or you didn't pay a bill, or whatever the story is. And that panics people. These scams are designed to panic people to make bad decisions. And I can see where folks that aren't familiar maybe with the system, how things work here, they can really be panicked and think, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to jail because I didn't pay something. And again, they're already reluctant to interact or talk to law enforcement. So they end up going and they'll buy a prepaid card, and then they'll send that number off, and it could be $300, $600, $1,000. And once that number on that card is given to somebody, we'll never get that money back, because that's the whole design behind those cards. So I want to tell everybody, the government, we don't do that. We don't call people. Nobody in the government calls people and says, you didn't show up, you need to pay us money. I'll be very honest, if the police are looking for somebody, we're going to knock on somebody's door. Okay. We're not calling anybody and telling them. So we'll show up in person. We don't send anything like that. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, they don't call you. They'll send you a bunch of letters, and then guess what? They'll knock on your door. So we don't do that. So I want to assure to those that may be, that could fall for that sort of scam, the government doesn't work that way. We don't take money over the phone. We don't do any of that stuff. And unfortunately, those scams panic people, and they make a bad decision, or they give up their information, their date of birth or their social security number or employee ID number or whatever information that the scammer is looking for. And I just want everybody to know there's so many different ones out there. The grandparent scam, your grandson got arrested in the Dominican Republic and needs bail money. And people in our town have fallen for that, unfortunately. And they've sent thousands of dollars outside of the country.
They focus on the elderly that sometimes doesn't know.
Right.
So una de las cosas, déjeme le explico lo que me estaba contando Chip, que creo que es súper importante para la comunidad que lo sepa. Y dice la manera en que el gobierno trabaja aquí. Mucha de nuestra comunidad recibe llamadas, emails o recibe algún mensaje en el que les dice, te estamos hablando del IRS o te estamos hablando del departamento de policía, te vamos a ir a arrestar, tenemos una orden de arresto porque no pagaste este recibo. Él quiere que todos ustedes sepan que esto no pasa, esto no funciona así aquí en Estados Unidos. El IRS no va a estarles hablando por teléfono para decirles, ve a comprar una tarjetita en la que me vas a poner $500 y me pasas el número. Eso no funciona así aquí. Así que no caigan en ese tipo de cosas que lo único que toca es estar informados. Por eso es que para nosotros es muy importante que este video ustedes lo vean y estén escuchando todas las cosas que están pasando para nuestra comunidad latina. Dice él, si aquí una policía te va a arrestar, ellos no te van a mandar un papelito para que mandes, ellos no te van a mandar un texto, no te van a mandar un email, no te van a hablar para que tú pagues este recibo así. Dice, la policía te va a llegar y te va a tocar tu casa. Esa es la manera en que va a funcionar aquí. Ahora, si el IRS también, tú tienes una deuda con el IRS te va a mandar cartas y cartas y cartas a tu hogar o al domicilio que tú pusiste, pero ellos no te van a hablar, ellos no te van a mandar un email en el que te van a pedir que tú llenes una tarjeta y que se las hagas de pago. En el momento en que ustedes hacen eso y les mandan esa información a las personas que están haciendo este fraude, ese dinero no se puede recuperar. Así que no caigan en este tipo de fraudes. Otro de los fraudes de los que Chip hablaba era el hecho que a veces a los abuelos les hablan diciendo, ay, es que tu nietecito, tu hijo andaba de vacaciones acá en República Dominicana y está arrestado, manda esta cantidad de dinero. ¿Qué es lo que hacen? Quieren que las personas entren en pánico, quieren que las personas tengan miedo y eso es lo que los hace caer. No caigan en cosas que les están pidiendo que actúen rápidamente. Así que ahí donde les están pidiendo que actúen rápidamente es prende esas antenitas y date cuenta que eso no es algo legal, eso no es algo que realmente está pasando. So, all right, I explained all of that to them, Chip. What else? What is another of the scams that you have there?
So there's the panic. I'm gonna give you a story that's gonna make you panic, and then the next one. It either appeals to desperation or greed. And those are the classic ones where you've won a lottery and you've won $250,000 and just send us some information. And also, just so you know, there's a $2,500 processing fee, and I need you to go buy a little prepaid card, and I need you to send me that number. And then you'll send them $2,500. And then you don't get your $250,000. But then they'll call you, they'll send you another email. They'll call you and they'll go, we need another $2,500 for processing. And unfortunately, that appeals a lot of times to people's desperation. So maybe people need money. And then they see this email or this text message. And these scams don't just get people who have come here from outside the United States. They get people that have lived here all their lives that, sometimes are out $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 before they catch on that it's a scam. And it's either because some people are in a desperate situation and they feel like, hey, this is too good to be true. Well, if it's too good to be true,
believe it.
It is too good to be true. And sometimes I've seen people where it's just, sometimes people are like, I can get this extra money for no particular reason or no work whatsoever. And it appeals sometimes to people's greed. All these things appeal to our emotions. And when we let our emotions get ahead of what we know is too good to be true, that's where we make the mistakes. So I always offer to tell people, and especially senior citizens, because this happens to senior citizens a lot. If you get these emails or texts or phone calls, you can call us. And I've talked to people on the phone before, and we have access to databases, of course, computer systems and information everybody sees on TV shows like Criminal Minds. We can go in these, but we do have access to databases and law enforcement information, and we can help you find out if it's true or not. Now, I'm going to tell you, 99.99% of the time, it's not true. I wish there was a magic email that was going to give you $250,000, but that's just never going to happen. And that's the message we want to get out before you send money. Even if you're scared, before you send money out, call somebody. You may not have to call us, call a friend, but you can certainly call us and we'll research. And I've researched it for people before and called them back and said, that's a scam. Please don't do that. Or I've gone to people's houses and knocked on the door and I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure that you know that this is a scam. This is not going to work out this way for you. It's just so much better for us to keep people from losing their hard-earned money than it is trying to track it down afterwards.
So, otro de los fraudes de los que estamos hablando en estos momentos dice él, en el primero del que hablamos utilizan el miedo para hacerte caer. En este otro que sigue, utilizan el hecho de que tú estés emocionado porque lo que te dicen es que te ganaste la lotería. Te ganaste $500,000, te envían un email, te envían un texto o te hablan por teléfono. Claro que tú con la emoción dices, sí, ¿qué tengo que hacer? No, pues fíjate que tienes que ir a comprar una tarjeta porque vas a tener unos cargos de todo el proceso que va a llevar para que te entreguen tu dinero y vas a pagar $2,500. Ok, entonces ahí vas tú porque estás con la emoción de que pensaste que te ganaste la lotería y terminas comprando de nuevo esta tarjeta con la cual le das la numeración a la persona que está haciendo este tipo de fraudes y ya perdiste tu dinero. Dice, esto es muy común que lo hagan en las personas de la tercera edad, es muy común que lo hagan en las personas por teléfono, por texto, así que no caigan en este tipo de fraude. Si ustedes reciben esto, lo que decía él, it looks too good to be true, no caigan, luce muy bueno para ser verdad. No caigan en este tipo de fraudes, estén informados. Lo que Chip recomienda es que si ustedes reciben este tipo de emails, si ustedes reciben este tipo de texto, reciben estas llamadas, contacten a la policía. Vayan a enseñarles qué fue lo que recibieron, que ellos para eso están, para checar que si esto es verdad o no. Pero lo que nos dice Chip es el 9.9 de este tipo de mensajes, de este tipo de llamadas, son un fraude. Así que pongamos atención en eso. What else is there, Chip?
That kind of covers scams, I think. Really gets the message out. That's one of our hot topics in crime prevention. Because like I said, anybody can be a victim of that. Also for our community, especially, that I want to make sure everybody knows. And it seems really simple, but please, at your residences or wherever you are, lock your car. Lock your car. So many crimes come out of people leaving their belongings, leaving their purses and their stuff in their car, and they don't think about it. Ashland is great because it's a small town. And a lot of people I've talked to tell me, oh, it's a small town. I don't have to lock my doors. And it is, 100 years ago, you're right. But, now that people are so mobile, it's just too easy for people that want to victimize good, hardworking people who are trying to make ends meet to drive into Ashland, hop off the interstate, go into a neighborhood, go into either townhouse complexes, Sedgefield, or anywhere else. And in the 3 o'clock in the morning, as much as we try to stop them and find them, and they just go and pull on car doors. And, if they pull on 100 car doors in a night and they get 3 car doors and they open them up and somebody's left their purse in there, and their credit cards and their debit cards and everything else. Recently we arrested a person who had stolen one purse, and just one purse. And that ended up being 18 criminal charges from all the credit cards that were used. So there's so many crimes downstream from that. And I tell people in Ashland, we would probably stop victimization of crime by 70% or more if we could just get people, don't answer the phone for numbers that you don't recognize, don't answer emails that you don't recognize promising you something, and locking your car door. People in our town would have their information and their money and their property so much more secured if they just did those couple of things.
Nos dice, si 3 cosas hiciéramos nosotros en Ashland, y les voy a contar un poquito acerca de eso, dice, reduciríamos el 70% de las cosas de crímenes que hay. Si no contestaran los emails de personas que no conocen, si no contestaran llamadas de números que no conocen, y si cerráramos las puertas de nuestros autos. Eso me tocó aprenderlo a mí. I'm like, I learned that that happened to me no long ago. And I moved in Ashland 2010. Mm-hmm. And like I say, I always keep my cars open when I went. And my husband was all the time, close the car. And I'm like, no, it's safe. Nothing happened. No long ago, remember you guys get, 3 kids. I don't know. Yeah. They were open all the cars in our community. Mm-hmm. My car was one of them. Mm-hmm. So that's true. We need to, even that we feel that Ashland is, a safe place, we just need to keep our cars locked. Yep. So, así que no olviden cerrar sus autos. Creo que, como le digo, yo lo aprendí yo me moví a Ashland en el 2010. Creo que es una área que me siento segura, que me encanta, pero no hace mucho, como lo dice él, hay muchachitos, a veces se van en todos los vecindarios y van tratando de abrir los carros. Si de todos los autos encuentran 3 autos que podían abrirse y a lo mejor olvidamos ahí nuestro bolso, o a lo mejor dejamos ahí algo importante, tarjetas, les estamos nosotros dejando la puerta abierta para que ellos puedan hacerlo. Así que tenemos que cerrar nuestros autos. No importa si viven en Ashland o donde vivan, asegúrense de cerrar sus autos para seguridad propia. What else is in there? I was trying to remember something. Another thing that I think is very, is something that is happened to the community all the time. Some people calling and telling them that they have their family who was coming to the United States and say, hey, we have your nephew. You need to send us this amount of money. And most of the time it's not true. Mm-hmm. And they end up giving, that money like the same way that you just say with the other one with the cars or whatever. So if you have, I think something that is really important for us as a community is if they have people who is coming, don't trust, the calls. They need to.
Yeah, if you don't recognize the number, let it go to voicemail. And then if it's important, they'll leave a message. And we can't always trust what our phone says because a lot of people that do scams, they do what's called spoofing, which is essentially they have computers that will make any number they want pop up on your phone. I've actually looked at my phone. It's been a few years. My phone rang. I picked it up, and it was me calling me. Huh? Because they pick like your, the local number. So let's say it's 804-994, which is a big number in in our area, like cell phone number. They're going to pick 804-994, and then they'll pick 4 digits behind it to make you think, oh, this is somebody's local, or they'll pick 798, which is the 3 digits in Ashland, or 752, which is the 3 digits in Ashland. And they'll try to make you think, oh, this is somebody local calling me. And if, let's say you have a number from outside Virginia with a different area code and they're calling that, they'll spoof your area code to make you think it's somebody that maybe, like you said, could be related to you, that maybe y'all have all the same cell phone plan and y'all got the same numbers at the same time. And you see like those first 6 numbers, the area code, and then the first 3, and you're like, oh, this must be so-and-so calling me. This is somebody related to me. Unfortunately, if these people that do these scams are smart enough to do that, they could probably make money in a legitimate way if they applied their skills. But unfortunately, victimize our people in the community, and we don't want that. One other thing that has come to my mind, because I think a lot of people that have come here who still have family members overseas, like you said, use a lot of apps like WhatsApp. I've seen that being used a lot. Photos and messages back and forth, because, with the apps, it's cheaper probably than always using the phone or something else. And one of the things that I know I've taken reports before is people in the immigrant community who use those apps are getting essentially hacked. So people are getting their pictures out of their account or getting their information off of it. So I want to tell everybody that if you use these apps to communicate, to talk with people in a different country, and you use it regularly, make sure that your security features on your phone are up to date, and make sure you don't share your passwords and all that other information, because unfortunately, in some of the pictures that they're sending back and forth, they may not be pictures that they want to share with the entire world. Or if they're sending payment information, some sort of payment information, if money's going back and forth home or back and whatever, that's valuable information to a scammer. So don't always trust that the app is safe to use. Make sure that your security features are up, and be careful what information you share, because people can get it, hack into those things.
So, una de las cosas más importantes también es que nunca compartan su información. Lo que él comenta es el hecho de que la mayoría de nuestra comunidad utiliza el día de hoy WhatsApp, utiliza aplicaciones en las cuales se comunican con su familia. Muchas de las veces se roban las fotografías, la utilizan y quizá te mandan un mensaje que te lo está enviando una prima a lo mejor y te pide cosas o algo. Pon atención si realmente es esa persona. No confíen en que les pidan información suya, en que les pidan información de sus tarjetas, porque entonces ustedes estarían dándole toda esa información ahí en sus manos. Otra de las cosas que comentábamos anteriormente es que mucha de nuestra comunidad, a veces cuando ya estamos aquí y están en espera de un familiar que viene de su país, hay personas que también les hacen fraude, haciéndoles llamadas y diciéndoles, tengo a tu sobrino, tengo a tu primo, que viene de México, no sé, de donde sea, y te dice envíame el dinero, y realmente no es cierto. Tengan mucho cuidado con ese tipo de fraude. Sé que mucha de nuestra comunidad ha pasado por eso, por el hecho de que les hablan y les dicen que tienen a sus familiares. Tengan mucho cuidado con eso. Lo que él dice de las fotografías, todo eso, tengan también mucho cuidado con quién comparten la información de tarjetas, sus nombres, sus domicilios, porque ellos utilizan todo eso para que ustedes caigan en ese tipo de fraudes. Así que mucho cuidado. I think another of the things that I just remember, and this just I seen, and it is because I'm at the store all the time. Someone came and said that on WhatsApp, they sent, it was like a picture of a cousin or someone that it was related to him, and they call him and say, hey, you know what? Do you check your Facebook already? You see the pictures that, they're posting, blah, blah, blah. He looked at the Facebook. It was some pictures about, with his picture, saying that he did something to a girl, He was so afraid of that. The guy, the cousin who called him and say, oh, I have a police that can help you. That wasn't his cousin. It was somebody else who was calling him to get it through all of this. When he came to the store to send some money, I think it was Dominican Republic where he was sending the money. And he was from Mexico. He just came and did the money. I don't know if it was $1,000, $2,000. He sent the money and, he just came, say the name, that's gone. He came back a little bit later. And again, I paid more attention. Okay, what's going on? Do you know this person? Yeah, I know them because they told you, that your family or whatever, or don't explain whatever you're doing. He came, he was trying to send, the other money. He sent it. And I kind of wanted to talk with him to see what was going on. When he explained all the story, I was like, no, this person is not your cousin. He's the one who did, he framed you to do all of this. So he was talking with the police who was helping them. He was the one who was sending the money. He said he will receive the money back. That wasn't happening. So I was able to save the last money that he sent because I canceled it after I was talking to him. But you know how many people is going through all of this? Like you say, they scare them that, the police gonna take you or the FBI is looking for you. So they're afraid that something's gonna happen to them because they're saying that they're doing something to a girl. So obvious they're trying to, feel safe again, and they follow the step that they're saying. So I think that is something, that story that I was able to see it, and I was like, really?
That happens very often. So what I like to remind everybody is security and convenience. They're opposites. So the greater security you have in something, it's probably less convenient. The more convenient something is, like social media, putting your pictures on social media, sharing all that information. People who may live, thousands of miles away, it's a great way to stay in touch with our brother or sister or parents. But the security on that is low. Very high convenience, but very low security. And the reason why is anybody can copy that picture, your profile picture, whatever pictures are in there. If it's open for the world to see, if you don't have the security, like only your own friends can see something, then they'll make an entire fake account and just use those pictures and make you think. That happened to that. I've taken a report on somebody who, a scam artist had created a fictional account using the victim's friend's pictures, and the victim thought it was the friend. And hey, I got a $250,000 grant, and you can too. So that happens. Goes back to verify. So if you think somebody sends you a message on Facebook or WhatsApp, and it looks like their profile picture looks familiar. Oh, this must be my brother, like you said. And anything, remember what I said before, anything that is designed or made to panic you. Hey, we see that you're doing this here, and it's not true, obviously, but it panicked him. It made him panic. That's the big important thing. If it makes somebody panic to do something, especially send money, then it's a scam. So call that person, reach out to that person in the way you normally do, and verify. Hey, is this you? Sometimes I get friend requests on Facebook of people that I'm already friends with. I'm like, why am I getting another friend request? Because it's somebody who may have seen the friends list and that I'm on it, and they're creating a fake account, and I don't accept those friend requests. We have to realize that everything on social media, if we're putting it on social media, the security with that is very low. Very convenient. I like sharing my friend my kids' pictures of all the stuff they're doing so that my friends and family can see it. It's a convenient way to do that, but the security is very low. And it goes back to what you said, and you picking up on that. That is a very valuable asset to the community. I have to give credit. Banks have become very good. The tellers at banks have become very good at spotting what you spotted. Why is our customer? Because you have your regular clientele. You know your customers. You get to know them, and then it's like, that's weird that you're sending another amount to this thing you've never sent somewhere. So don't be afraid to just say, hey, because as I said, you're an asset in linking us to the community and then helping them realize you're getting scammed. Don't send that money, or at least ask somebody. And again, if they're afraid to ask us, they need to phone a friend. They need to call somebody else, you or somebody else in the family who is not a part of it, who's not panicked, who can sit there and go, that's crazy. You're not doing that. Why is somebody telling you you're doing that? We know you've been in Ashland. You haven't been over there doing that. Even something as simple as that, just asking your neighbor can stop people from doing that because it's a person that's not involved.
Yeah.
There's no emotion there.
That's the other story that you talk about. The same thing happened at the store too. It was a lady who came and sent money. And every time that I asked her, she said, oh no, I know them. Okay. And at the end, when she was coming, because she was sending money and they keep canceling the transaction. And it was because the other person received a certainly amount of money and they were they were suspicious. But I was like, are you sure she's your friend? She was like, yeah, I know them. And at the end, she ending telling me, no, I don't know her. But, someone told me that if I send her $200, they will give me back $2,000. I was like, it looks too good to be true.
It's not true.
Don't fail for it. So, yeah. So, otra cosa de la que hablábamos, chicos, y es algo que por el hecho de estar yo en mi tienda, me he dado cuenta que a varios de mis clientes les ha pasado que llegaban a hacer envíos de dinero y entonces hizo uno, no me pasó, así como, está bien, viene y hace otro envío, entonces me quedo yo. Le hago más preguntas de por qué está haciendo el otro envío y estaba pasando por un fraude y él no lo sabía. A veces en el WhatsApp tú ves solamente la fotografía y piensas, es mi primo, es mi hermano. Él recibe un mensaje que dice, mira, ya checaste tu Facebook, mira lo que están posteando. Y posteaban una fotografía donde decía que él había violado a una niña y que lo estaba buscando el FBI. Entonces, obvio, él entra, él está preocupado por esto que está pasando y le piden que envíe dinero, que ya tienen a la policía ayudándolos y Él envía este dinero. Y entonces la segunda vez que viene a enviar dinero, pues yo me quedo, ¿por qué estás enviando dinero de nuevo? Platico con él. Cuando él me platica la historia, le dije, no, esto no puede estar pasando, enséñame. Y terminamos salvando el segundo dinero que él estaba enviando, porque esto era un fraude. No caigan en eso, porque lo que dice Chip, quieren que ustedes entren con el miedo, que está pasando algo de que ustedes hicieron. No caigan, acérquense a la policía, enseñen lo que están recibiendo, no tengan miedo, para que no caigan en este tipo de fraudes. Otra de las cosas que pasó también, que les hablan y les dicen, mira, esta señora, tú le das $200 y te va a multiplicar tu dinero y te va a dar $2,000. Eso tampoco es cierto. No caigan en este tipo de fraudes. Así que estén pendientes de todo lo que está pasando en nuestra comunidad. Compártanlo con toda nuestra comunidad. No se olviden de compartir este video porque queremos que realmente nuestra comunidad esté enterada y esté prevenida ante todos estos crímenes. Así que, is there something else that we needed to add today?
No, I think everybody knows. I think if anybody can take anything away from this is don't talk to strangers. Okay, we learned that as little kids. Don't talk to strangers on the phone, by email, by text that are offering things too good to be true, or things that don't make sense, or threatening you, trying to make you panic, because that's not how we work in the government. That's not how we do things. Be careful what you put on social media. What's on the internet's there forever, and it is so easily accessed by people that you don't want to get into your photos and your information. Lock your cars, lock your houses. People work hard for their money. People work hard for what they have. Don't give people an opportunity to take it away from you. And we are here as the Ashland Police Department. If you have a question, you need to talk to the police or need to report a crime, please call us. Again, we're the town of Ashland Police. We police the town. I live in the town. My kids go to the same schools that your kids go to. I live I live a block from the police department. I'm in the same neighborhood that you live in. We're residents just like everybody else. And we're there. We don't want people to be intimidated or worried about reaching out to us because they have a question or a concern or something's been stolen or they need us to help solve a problem for them. We're available for that. We're just like everybody else. We're the police, but we're just like everybody else. Like I said, we all share the same community, and we want that community to be as safe and secure as we can make it.
So recuerden lo que les dice Chip, él vive dentro de nuestro condado, él vive cerca de nuestro vecindario. Todos queremos que Ashland esté seguro y cada uno de ustedes sabemos que estos videos se van a ver en todo Estados Unidos, se ven en todo Virginia, así que asegurémonos que estamos seguros como comunidad en cualquier área que se encuentren. Chip nos invita a que si están pasando por algún crimen, hablen al teléfono de Ashland, en un minuto se lo doy, pero ustedes hablan también al 911, directamente se comunica con la policía de Ashland, con los bomberos, con todo, así que no tengan miedo de hacerlo. Nos dice el día de hoy en este video, aprendimos que no hay que confiar en nadie, no hay que contestar llamadas de números que no conocemos, no hay que contestar emails de personas que no conocemos, no contesten textos de personas que no conocen, cierren sus autos, así que cuidémonos como comunidad y compartamos todos estos videos para que nuestra comunidad esté informada. Thank you, Chip, for being here today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. To share our department with you, with the community. This has been very valuable, and we appreciate what you do.
Thank you. By any chance, do you remember the number that they can call? I don't have it on the top of my head, but I know there is a line. I told them that they can call 911.
Yes.
But I remember that there is a direct line. If you don't know, we can put it later on the bottom.
This is what I tell everybody. I said, if you have a situation where you feel like you need a police, if you say, gee, I wish I had a police officer right now to report a crime or whatever it is, call 911. That's okay. If you have a legitimate issue, we're not going to yell at you for calling 911. And that's so much easier to remember than what we call the non-emergency line. But the non-emergency line is 804-365-6140. If you're in a situation where you go, I can't remember that, I just need the police now, or the fire department, or the emergency medical services, an ambulance, whatever, just call 911. It'll be okay. We want to get to you as soon as possible. If you've been a victim of a crime and you need us, just use that number. It'll be okay.
Ok, así que ya saben, pueden hablar al 911 si realmente lo amerita de que está pasando algo que ustedes digan y necesito que un oficial de policía esté aquí. Por cualquiera que sea su situación, ya saben, pueden hablar al 911. El Departamento de Policías de Ashland está abierto para nuestra comunidad latina, así que bueno, ahí quedó esta información del día de hoy. Gracias por haber acompañado en este otro video de T.Lonoticiaseinformacion. Estén pendientes para el siguiente. No se olviden de dejar su like y de compartir y suscribirse para que nuestra comunidad siga creciendo. Así que thank you so much, Chip.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.